Ren's ship touched down softly on the surface of Veralis, a planet shrouded in mist and mystery. The soft hum of the engines faded, leaving only the faint sound of wind through the strange, silver-leaved trees surrounding him. He stepped out, feeling the soft soil beneath his boots. The air smelled sweet, like flowers and rain mixed together. He had traveled far to reach this place, guided by old maps and legends of a garden no human had fully explored. The first thing Ren noticed was the light. It shimmered from nowhere, flowing gently across the ground and through the trees. It was alive, or at least, it felt alive. Tiny sparks danced among the plants, as if the garden itself were breathing. Ren paused, his curiosity mixed with caution. This was no ordinary planet. The stories were true. Somewhere in this garden, secrets of an ancient civilization lay hidden. He walked carefully, noticing that some plants seemed to lean toward him, their leaves stretching gently as if trying to touch him. Others recoiled, shrinking back from his presence. It was strange, almost as if the garden could feel his emotions. Ren frowned. Could plants really sense him? He shook his head. He was here to explore, to discover, not to be frightened by what he didn't understand. As he moved deeper into the forest, a faint glow caught his attention. Hidden under a canopy of twisted vines was a shimmering gate, almost invisible until he was right in front of it. The gate pulsed with soft light, and Ren could feel a gentle warmth radiating from it. Something inside him told him that this was no ordinary gate. This was the entrance to the heart of the garden, the place the old legends had whispered about for centuries. Ren stepped closer. The air felt different here, alive with energy. He could almost hear a faint hum, like a song without words. His heart beat faster, both from excitement and a touch of fear. Reaching out, he touched the gate. Light flowed through his fingers, warm and comforting, yet it made the hairs on his arms stand up. The gate opened, and Ren took a deep breath before stepping inside. The garden beyond was breathtaking. Colors that Ren had never seen before painted the landscape. Trees with glowing leaves stretched high into the misty sky. Flowers opened and closed rhythmically, as if breathing along with him. Every step he took caused the ground to shimmer faintly, leaving behind soft glowing footprints that faded after a few moments. The air was filled with whispers, gentle and soft, though he could not understand their words. Then Ren noticed something, or rather, someone. From behind a group of tall, glowing ferns, a small figure watched him. It was humanoid, with skin that seemed to shine faintly under the garden's light. Its eyes glowed like twin stars, and it studied Ren with quiet curiosity. Ren froze. "Hello," he called softly. "I mean no harm." The figure stepped forward. "You should not be here," it said in a voice that was soft, yet carried a weight Ren could not explain. "This garden is old. It is alive. It does not welcome those who come without care." Ren raised his hands in peace. "I am an explorer," he said gently. "I have come to learn, to understand. I will not harm anything here." The small being studied him for a long moment, then nodded slightly. "I am Eco," it said. "I will watch you. The garden tests all who enter. Many fail. Few are allowed to see its heart." Ren's curiosity flared stronger than his fear. "Tests? What kind of tests?" he asked. Eco's glowing eyes moved across the plants around them. "The garden sees your thoughts, your feelings. It shows them in ways you may not expect. If you are selfish or cruel, it will not let you proceed. If your heart is open, it may guide you further." Ren swallowed, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. He had faced many challenges in his life, but nothing like this. A garden that could read his emotions, that could judge him silently. It was both thrilling and terrifying. "I understand," Ren said finally. "I want to see this place. I want to learn from it." Eco nodded again. "Then follow me." but remember, every glance you see may be more than it seems. The garden watches, and sometimes, it speaks without words. Trust only your heart. With that, Ren stepped deeper into the glowing forest, the soft lights reflecting in his wide eyes. He felt the garden's presence around him, alive and curious, just as he was curious about it. Somewhere in the distance, a faint pulse of light seemed to beckon him forward. Ren had no idea what waited at the heart of this strange and beautiful place, but he knew he was ready to find out. And as he moved forward, the garden's hidden glances followed him, waiting for the moment when he would prove himself worthy. Ren followed Eco through the glowing forest, each step bringing new wonders. The plants here were not like anything Ren had ever seen. Some moved gently, as if waving at him, while others seemed to curl protectively around hidden flowers. Tiny lights floated in the air, drifting like fireflies. Each time Ren reached out to touch one, it would dart away, playful yet cautious. Why does the garden behave this way? Ren asked, keeping his voice low. Eco's glowing eyes scanned the surroundings. It responds to feeling. Joy makes it open, fear makes it close. You must move carefully. The garden notices everything: your thoughts, your doubts, even your curiosity. Ren nodded. So, it's alive. Eco's small smile glowed in the dim light. Yes. It is more than plants. It is memory, history, and life itself. Many have come, thinking they could take from it. They were shown the door and never returned. As they walked deeper, Ren noticed the shapes of the trees changing. Branches arched like gates, forming tunnels of light. Flowers opened as he passed, their colors shifting in patterns he could barely comprehend. Some even pulsed gently in rhythm with his heartbeat. He had never felt anything like this. It was beautiful, yet strange, as if the garden were speaking a language without words. Eco stopped suddenly. Do not touch that, it warned, pointing to a group of glowing bushes. Ren froze. The plants had small buds that shimmered like stars. These hold memories. If touched without care, they can overwhelm a visitor's mind. Ren looked closer. He could see faint images flickering inside the buds: people, places, strange scenes he could not understand. He swallowed. Overwhelm my mind? How? The garden shows what you carry inside, Eco explained. It can show you your fears, your doubts. Some visitors are not strong enough to face them. They leave confused, sometimes forever changed. Ren felt a shiver run down his spine. He had faced danger before, but this was different. Here, the danger was not physical, it was inside his own mind. He nodded. I will be careful. I want to learn, not harm. Eco studied him for a long moment, then nodded. Then come. There is a place you must see. Only those with open hearts can proceed. They walked silently for a while, following a path lit by faint, floating lights. Ren noticed movement in the shadows, glimpses of shapes that vanished as soon as he looked directly. He realized the garden was watching him, not in a threatening way, but in a curious way, as if it wanted to understand who he was. Finally, they reached a clearing. In the center stood a plant unlike any other. It was tall, with branches reaching skyward, covered in leaves that shimmered in colors Ren could not name. The air around it vibrated softly, like the hum of 1,000 voices speaking at once. Ren felt a strange warmth in his chest. This is the heart of the garden, Eco whispered. It remembers everything that has happened here. It can show you the past, the choices of others, and sometimes, the possibilities of the future. Ren stepped closer, careful not to touch it yet. The plant's glow seemed to pulse faster as he approached, reacting to his presence. Tiny lights floated from the branches toward him, then retreated just as quickly. It was alive in a way that made Ren feel both small and connected to something much greater. Eco, why does it do this? Ren asked. Why does the garden want to show me these things? The garden tests hearts, Eco replied. It chooses those who are worthy to learn its secrets. It shows visions not to frighten, but to teach. You must face them calmly and understand yourself before it will allow you to go further. Ren took a deep breath. He felt fear, yes, but also excitement. This was what he had come for: to discover, to understand, to connect with something extraordinary. He nodded. I understand. I want to learn. Eco's glowing eyes softened. Then prepare yourself. The garden will speak soon. You may see visions of people, places, or events. Remember, they are tests, not predictions. Trust your heart. Trust yourself. Ren stepped closer to the glowing plant, feeling its energy wash over him. He closed his eyes and focused, letting the warmth of the garden fill him. Around him, the floating lights swirled faster, pulsing in time with his heartbeat. He sensed the garden's awareness, watching, waiting. Suddenly, a vision appeared in the air before him, a scene of a human colony long ago, struggling to survive on a distant planet. Ren's heart raced as he realized he was seeing memories that were not his own. The scene shifted quickly to show moments of courage, kindness, and sacrifice. Each vision tested him, asking silently, would you act this way? Could you face such challenges? Ren steadied himself. He could feel fear trying to creep in, but he remembered Eco's words, trust your heart. He focused on the bravery and hope he had seen in the visions. Slowly, the garden seemed to accept him. The lights around him softened, glowing warmly like a welcome. Eco stepped beside him, smiling faintly. You have done well so far, it said. The garden watches, but it is learning to trust you. Many fail here. Few succeed. Keep your heart open, Ren. The journey has only begun. Ren looked around at the glowing plants, the floating lights, and the small guardian beside him. He realized he was part of something much larger than himself, a living world that could teach, test, and guide. A smile crept onto his face. He was ready to see what lay deeper in the garden, where secrets waited for those brave enough to uncover them. Ren followed Eco deeper into the garden. The glowing lights shifted around them, forming soft paths that seemed to guide their steps. The further they went, the more the garden responded to Ren's feelings. Flowers bent toward him when he felt curious, and some shrubs curled back when he hesitated. It was as if the entire place were alive, watching him, waiting for him to prove himself. You are ready for the next stage, Eco said softly. The garden will now test your heart. It will show you visions. You must face them and choose wisely. Your choices matter here. Ren nodded. He felt a mix of excitement and unease. He had seen visions before in the glowing plant, but now it felt more personal. He could sense that the garden would reach deeper into his mind, showing thoughts and feelings he had not fully understood. They reached a clearing where the trees arched high overhead, their leaves glowing in shades of gold and green. In the center floated a small pool of shimmering light. Ren peered into it, and immediately, the surface rippled, showing him images that felt almost real. The first vision appeared, a group of humans on a distant world, struggling to survive after their colony's supplies had failed. Ren saw fear and hunger in their eyes. Some of them argued, some cried, and some tried to care for each other. The scene shifted, showing moments of bravery, a person sharing their last bit of food, another standing against danger to protect others. Ren felt the emotions as if they were his own. Remember, Eco whispered. The garden shows more than reality. It shows choices, intentions, and courage. It asks you, what would you do? Ren took a deep breath. He realized the garden was testing his empathy. If he felt only pity or fear, the visions would not accept him. He focused on the bravery and kindness he saw. In his mind, he imagined helping those people, comforting them, and giving them hope. Slowly, the ripples in the pool glowed brighter, as if acknowledging his heart. The next vision appeared, sharper and faster. This time, Rin saw himself, alone, making mistakes in past missions. He felt guilt and doubt rising in his chest. Shadows of failure danced around him, whispering that he was not strong enough. Rin's first instinct was to turn away, to hide from the pain. But Iko's voice reached him. Do not run. Face it. The garden wants honesty, not fear. Rin closed his eyes and let the feelings wash over him. He remembered the lessons he had learned from failure, that mistakes could teach him more than success. He imagined himself correcting the errors, learning from them, and moving forward. The shadows faded slowly, replaced by warm lights that lifted his spirit. Good, Iko said. You are learning. The garden tests not your strength alone, but your heart. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is the choice to continue despite it. Then, a third vision appeared, more intense than the others. Rin saw a strange alien city, vast and silent, its towers crumbling with age. Figures moved within the streets, and one of them, an alien with glowing eyes, looked directly at Rin. The being seemed to search his mind, as if asking, do you belong here? Are you worthy? Rin felt a moment of doubt. What if he was not worthy? What if the garden rejected him? His heart pounded, but he remembered Iko's words and the feeling of the glowing plant in the first clearing. He straightened, focusing on honesty and humility. I am here to learn. I will respect this place. I will do no harm. The vision paused, as if listening, then slowly dissolved into a calm light that filled the clearing. Rin exhaled, feeling a deep sense of connection with the garden. For the first time, he felt that the garden was not just observing him, it was acknowledging him. Iko stepped closer. You are ready for the next stage, it said. The garden will now allow you to interact with its more powerful memories. These are not illusions, they are fragments of history. They may show the past, the triumphs and failures of those who came before, and even possibilities for the future. Trust what you feel. Rin nodded. He felt a quiet excitement and determination. He had faced fear, guilt, and doubt, and he had made choices that the garden accepted. It was not just testing him, it was teaching him. Each vision had shown him something about himself, about courage, and about empathy. As they moved forward, the trees around them began to glow more brightly. The air was filled with a soft, humming energy, as if the garden itself were alive and pleased with Rin's progress. Tiny lights floated around him, brushing against his arms and face like gentle sparks. Rin smiled. He felt that he was part of something much larger than himself, a living world that could guide, test, and teach. Are the tests over? Rin asked, looking at Iko. For now, Iko replied. But the garden has more to show you. Each step forward will ask more from your heart. You must continue to choose wisely. The path to the heart of the garden is not only through courage, it is through understanding and care. Rin felt his chest fill with determination. He had come to explore, to discover, and to learn. The garden was no longer a mysterious place, it was a teacher, waiting to guide those who were ready to listen. With Iko by his side, Rin stepped forward, ready to face whatever the garden would show him next. Rin stepped carefully along the glowing path, following Iko deeper into the garden. The air was thick with warmth and energy, and the soft hum of the plants seemed louder now, almost like a song he could feel in his chest. Every leaf, every flower seemed to lean slightly toward him, as if encouraging him forward. This way, Iko whispered, pointing toward a large clearing ahead. The heart of the garden is close. Few have seen it, and fewer have understood it. It will ask much of you, Rin. Are you ready? Rin nodded. His curiosity outweighed his fear. I am ready. I want to learn. As they entered the clearing, Rin gasped. Before him stood massive trees, their trunks wide and their branches stretching high, intertwining in a crown-like formation. Each leaf glowed softly in colors he had no names for, colors that shifted and flowed as though alive. The ground was covered in small, pulsing lights, almost like stars fallen to earth. At the center of the clearing stood a radiant plant, taller than any tree Rin had ever seen. Its light pulsed gently, as if breathing. "The heart," Eco said softly. "This plant holds the memories of the garden. It remembers every visitor, every choice, every emotion. It is alive in a way that is beyond most beings. You must approach carefully." Ren stepped closer. The air around the heart felt charged, humming with energy. Tiny lights floated from the plant toward him, swirling like a gentle breeze. When he extended his hand, the lights brushed against his fingers, warm and comforting. For a moment, Ren felt a strange connection, as if the garden were speaking directly to him without words. What is this feeling?" Ren asked, awe in his voice. "The heart communicates," Eco explained. "It does not use words. It senses your intentions, your honesty, your courage. It will guide you only if it trusts you. Some visitors fail here because they seek only knowledge, power, or advantage. Others, who act with respect and care, are shown secrets that can change everything." Ren took a deep breath and closed his eyes, letting the energy of the heart wash over him. He felt visions flicker in his mind, images of people, plants, and cities long gone. Some moments were joyful, some sad, and some filled with quiet strength. He realized that these were not only memories, they were lessons. Eco spoke gently. "The heart will ask you to make a choice, Ren. You may take knowledge for yourself, to learn and grow, or you may choose to nurture the garden itself. This choice will show your true heart." Ren opened his eyes and looked at the glowing plant. The idea of taking knowledge for himself was tempting. He had always been curious, always wanted to explore and discover. But then he thought of the garden, of Eco, and of the care he had seen in every living part of this place. To take without respect would betray everything the garden had shown him. He reached out slowly, placing his hand gently on one of the glowing branches. Instead of feeling a harsh energy, he felt warmth, a gentle pulse that seemed to respond to his heartbeat. In that moment, Ren made his choice. He would nurture the garden, protect it, and learn from it without trying to control it. The lights around the heart brightened, swirling in patterns that made Ren's eyes widen. Tiny motes of energy floated around him, lifting gently like a soft wind. He felt a wave of understanding flow through him, a deep connection with the garden. It was alive, aware, and it had accepted him. Eco stepped closer, eyes glowing softly. "You have made the right choice," it said. "Few have come this far, and even fewer have chosen the path of care. The heart will now share with you what it can. Listen, Ren, and remember what you feel." Suddenly, the visions returned, but this time they were brighter and clearer. Ren saw the history of the garden, a civilization that had once lived here, that had created the garden as a living archive of their lives. He saw how they had learned to communicate with plants, how they had nurtured the land, and how they had left when their time ended, leaving the garden to remember them. The heart's energy flowed into Ren, filling him with knowledge and understanding. He could feel the life of every plant, every glowing light, every breeze of energy in the clearing. It was overwhelming, but not frightening. The garden trusted him, and that trust made him stronger, more aware, and more connected to everything around him. Ren looked at Eco, gratitude shining in his eyes. "I understand now. This garden, it's not just alive. It's a memory, a teacher, a guardian. And it trusts me." Eco nodded, a soft glow of approval on its face. "Yes. You have proven yourself worthy. But remember, Ren, the garden will continue to test you. Every choice you make now will be watched, not to punish, but to guide. You are part of something greater, now. Respect it, and it will guide you further." Ren stepped back, taking a moment to breathe in the light, the hum, the life of the heart of the garden. He realized that he had reached a turning point. From this moment on, his journey was not just about exploration, it was about understanding, care, and connection. And as he looked around, he felt the garden's presence in every glowing leaf, in every pulsing light, in every whisper of wind. The heart of the garden had accepted him, and Ren knew that his life and perhaps the future of many others would never be the same again. Ren stayed in the heart of the garden for a long while, feeling the soft pulse of the glowing trees and the gentle hum of the radiant plant. Every sound, every light, seemed alive, whispering secrets that only he could sense. Iko stood beside him quietly, its glowing eyes watching as Ren's understanding of the garden deepened. "You feel its history, don't you?" Iko asked softly. "The garden holds memories of those who came before. It remembers their courage, their mistakes, and their care. Few humans have ever been able to connect this deeply." Ren nodded, overwhelmed. I can feel them. The people, their lives, it's like the garden carries everything they were. It's incredible." Iko smiled faintly. "Yes. But there is more you must know. The garden was not only created to hold memories. It was made by a civilization that admired those who sought knowledge and wisdom with honesty. They wanted a place that could judge hearts, not just minds." Ren's curiosity flared. "Judge hearts? You mean the visions, the tests, all of that?" "Yes," Iko said. "Those who were selfish, cruel, or careless were rejected. Only those with patience, care, and courage were shown the deeper secrets. You are among the few humans to have reached this stage." Ren felt a mixture of pride and humility. He had wanted to explore, to discover, but now he realized the garden had taught him more than just knowledge. It had taught him about honesty, empathy, and courage. Iko continued, "The watchers you sometimes sense, the hidden glances you felt are echoes of that ancient civilization. They remain in the garden as guardians. They observe, they test, but they also guide. They have watched humans for generations, waiting for one worthy enough to form a connection." Ren's eyes widened. "So, the garden, and everything in it, was designed to find someone like me?" Iko nodded. "Not just like you, but someone with a heart willing to respect life. The garden does not belong to anyone, but it chooses those it trusts. You have proven your worth through choice, care, and understanding." Ren took a deep breath. The weight of the revelation was heavy, yet comforting. He looked around at the glowing trees, the pulsing plants, the floating lights. The garden was alive, yes, but it was also conscious, intelligent, and patient. It had waited for someone to understand it, someone who would nurture it rather than exploit it. "Iko, what now?" Ren asked quietly. "Now, the garden will allow you to communicate more fully," Iko explained. "It will share knowledge, but only what is needed to help you, to help those who may follow. It is a guide, not a tool for selfish gain. You may ask questions, but remember every answer comes with responsibility." Ren knelt beside the radiant plant, placing his hand gently on its glowing trunk. He felt warmth and energy flow into him, images and understanding blending seamlessly. He saw maps of the galaxy, knowledge of plants and ecosystems, the histories of civilizations long gone. Yet, the garden did not overwhelm him, it trusted him to handle what it shared. He looked at Iko. "It's incredible. I can understand so much, but I feel like I'm part of it, not just a visitor." "You are part of it now," Iko said. "And in return, it will trust you. You must remember every choice you make from here will affect your connection to the garden. It does not forget." Ren smiled faintly. "I won't forget. I want to protect it, care for it, and learn from it. I want to share its lessons, carefully, so humans can understand too, but not harm it." Iko's eyes glowed warmly. That is wise. Many fail because they think knowledge is for themselves alone. You understand that wisdom comes with care. The garden will now show you the deeper truths it has held for centuries. Suddenly, a new vision unfolded before Rin. He saw the garden in its early days, tended by the ancient civilization. He watched as they planted trees, nurtured flowers, and guided the growth of every living thing. Their faces were calm, their hands gentle. The garden responded to their care, glowing brighter, pulsing with life. Ren felt a deep connection to these people, even though they had long disappeared. Then he saw the city that had once existed nearby, full of life and energy, slowly fading as the civilization moved on. The garden remained, remembering everything, holding the past safe. Ren realized that this was not just a garden, it was a living archive, a teacher, and a guardian all in one. Iko's voice broke through Ren's thoughts. The garden has chosen you to understand this truth. It trusts you to carry its lessons forward. Remember, Ren, the heart of the garden does not belong to anyone. It is a living memory. Respect it, protect it, and you will learn more than most beings in the galaxy ever will. Ren nodded. He felt a quiet strength inside him, a sense of purpose he had never felt before. He had come seeking discovery, but he had found something far greater: understanding, connection, and responsibility. As the lights of the heart pulsed softly around him, Ren knew that his journey in the garden had only just begun. The secrets he had uncovered were powerful, but the true lessons were about care, empathy, and courage. He looked at Iko and whispered, "Thank you, for guiding me. I will not forget this." Iko's small glow seemed to brighten. The garden remembers all who respect it. And now, Ren, you are part of that memory. Ren stood, feeling the weight and wonder of the garden surrounding him. The hidden glances, the tests, the whispers, all had led him to this understanding. The garden's heart had opened to him, and in return, he had opened his own. Ren left the heart of the garden feeling a quiet strength inside him. The soft hum of the glowing trees seemed to follow him, like a gentle reminder that the garden was always watching. Every step he took on the glowing path felt purposeful, as if the very soil beneath his boots knew he had grown. Iko floated beside him, eyes soft with approval. "You have learned much," Iko said. "But knowledge alone is not enough. You must now see how the garden's influence can reach beyond itself. Its power is subtle, but it changes the hearts of those who encounter it." Ren nodded, his mind filled with memories of the visions and lessons he had learned. "I understand," he said. "It's not just about the garden itself, it's about the way it can teach and guide others." As they walked toward the edge of the forest, Ren noticed movement in the distance. Figures approached, their shapes unfamiliar but not threatening. Aliens of various forms paused at the edge of the garden, watching him. Their eyes were curious, their bodies relaxed, yet Ren sensed they were aware of the connection he shared with the garden. Iko whispered, "The watchers you felt before, they extend beyond this place. The garden communicates through them. Those who are attuned can feel its guidance, just as you do now. Your presence here has been noticed." Ren felt a thrill. "So they can sense that I've been trusted?" "Yes," Iko said. "And they observe not to control, but to learn. Your choices, your care, your respect, these are being remembered. The garden leaves impressions on all who come near. It shapes behavior without force, guiding those who are open to it." Ren thought of the first steps he had taken in the forest, the fear he had felt, and the lessons he had learned. He realized the garden's true strength was not in its beauty, or even in its knowledge, but in its ability to influence hearts. Those who approached it with selfishness were repelled, those with care and courage were guided. "I want to share this," Ren said, his voice quiet but firm. "Not to take from the garden, but to help others understand its lessons, so they can grow too." Iko's glow brightened slightly. "That is wise. But remember, Ren, sharing must be done with care. The garden protects itself, and it protects its knowledge. Only those who are ready will truly benefit. As they moved further, Rin noticed small signs of the garden's influence on the world beyond. Tiny plants with faint glows grew near streams, their energy spreading outward. Birds, small and delicate, seemed calmer, their songs sweeter. Even the wind carried a soft vibration, as if echoing the garden's pulse. It was subtle, but Rin understood it was spreading, teaching, and guiding quietly. Rin paused by a cluster of glowing flowers, reaching out gently. A small light drifted toward him, brushing against his hand. In that moment, he felt a connection not only with the garden, but with everything around it: the watchers, the plants, the creatures. He understood that this influence could change worlds, if respected and nurtured. "You are ready for what comes next," Eco said. "The garden has chosen you to carry its lessons into the wider world. But remember, the path is not without responsibility. You must protect this knowledge, guide others gently, and never take more than is given." Rin nodded. "I will. I understand the weight of this trust." As the sun, or what passed for sunlight, on Veralis shifted, Rin noticed more watchers appearing among the distant trees. They moved with quiet elegance, their glowing eyes reflecting the garden's light. They were not hostile, they were observers, guides, and learners themselves. Rin realized that the garden's influence extended far, connecting beings who were willing to understand, to care, and to grow. "Eco, do they all know about me?" Rin asked, a hint of wonder in his voice. "Not fully," Eco said. "But they sense the change. Your presence, your respect, your care, they have felt it. The garden leaves traces in those who approach, teaching silently. You are now part of that living memory." Rin smiled. A sense of purpose filled him. The garden had tested him, taught him, and now entrusted him with its legacy. It was more than he had ever hoped for when he first set foot on Veralis. He realized that the journey was far from over. This was just the beginning of understanding, of teaching, and of guiding others with care and courage. As Rin and Eco walked back toward the edge of the forest, the glowing trees and pulsing light seemed to lean closer, almost as if giving him a final blessing. He knew he would return, not just for himself, but for all who might one day need the garden's guidance. And he understood that the hidden glances, the tests, and the lessons were now part of him, shaping the way he would see the world forever. For Rin, the garden was no longer a place to explore, it was a teacher, a guardian, and a guide. And the lessons it had given him would change not only his life, but the lives of those who came after him, in ways both quiet and profound. Years had passed since Rin first set foot in the glowing forest of Veralis. The memories of the heart of the garden and the lessons it had shared were still vivid in his mind. He had traveled to many worlds, learning, teaching, and sharing knowledge carefully. But the garden had always called him back, gently, quietly, with the pulse of its hidden lights. Today, Rin returned. He walked along the glowing paths, noticing how the plants responded to him in ways that felt familiar and comforting. Flowers leaned toward him, tiny lights floated alongside his steps, and the soft hum of the forest seemed to greet him personally. The garden remembered him, as it remembered all those who treated it with respect. Eco appeared at his side, glowing faintly as always. "You have returned," it said. "The garden senses your care. It remembers the choices you made and the lessons you shared. You are now part of its living memory." Rin smiled. "Eco, it feels different this time. More alive, more connected." "Yes," Eco replied. "The garden grows not just with plants, but with those who respect it. Every heart that learns from it becomes a part of its memory. You are one of many, Rin, but few have reached this level of understanding." As Rin walked deeper, he noticed new signs of life. Small, glowing plants had spread beyond the main paths. Some had grown in shapes resembling tiny guardians, as if echoing Eco itself. The soft energy of the garden touched everything around it, reaching the skies, the streams, even the distant hills. Ren realized that the garden was no longer only a place, it was a presence, a living teacher that extended its influence quietly but surely. Ren stopped in a clearing where the light shone brightest. The heart of the garden still pulsed there, radiating warmth and energy. Tiny lights danced around him, swirling like sparks of life. Ren knelt beside the radiant plant, feeling its familiar hum in his chest. Memories of his first steps here, his fears, the visions, and the choices he had made all came flooding back. It has grown, Ren whispered, almost to himself. Not just the plants, but everything. The lessons, the watchers, the connections. It has become more than I imagined. Iko nodded. And so have you. The garden watches, yes, but it also remembers. Every heart it touches adds to its strength, to its guidance. You are now a guardian, Ren, even if quietly. Your care shapes the garden, and through it, others learn too. Ren looked around and noticed faint shapes in the distance, creatures, some human-like, some alien, moving carefully through the forest. They paused, sensing him, sensing the energy of the garden. Their eyes reflected curiosity, understanding, and respect. The watchers of the garden, both old and new, were learning from him as much as he had learned from the garden itself. He realized then that the hidden glances he had first felt were not threats, but invitations, invites to understand, to connect, and to grow. The garden had tested him, guided him, and now included him in its living legacy. Iko, Ren said softly, do you think all those who come here will feel the same connection I did? Not all, Iko said. But those with hearts willing to learn, willing to care, will. The garden shows patience. It waits. It teaches slowly, quietly, so that those who understand its lessons can carry them forward. And now, Ren, you are one of them. Ren stood, feeling the energy of the garden pulse through him. He looked at the floating lights, the glowing trees, the radiant flowers, and he felt gratitude. The garden had changed him, shaped him, and now he had the responsibility to honor it. He knew he could not take more than the garden offered, but he could help others understand its lessons: care, courage, and respect for life. As the sun or Viralis's soft glowing sky shifted, Ren realized that the garden had grown in ways he could not fully measure. It was alive not only in plants and light, but in memory, in influence, and in the hearts of all who came with honesty and care. It was a teacher, a guardian, and a silent guide, ready for those who sought it with the right heart. Ren turned to leave the clearing but paused. The soft light seemed to follow him, the gentle hum guiding his steps. He smiled, knowing that he was leaving a part of himself behind, just as the garden had left a part of itself in him. The legacy of hidden glances, of care and attention, would continue, touching future visitors, teaching them quietly, and shaping the world around them. I will return, Ren whispered to Iko, his voice full of promise. And I will help others understand what I have learned. The garden's lessons must live on. Iko's glow brightened in acknowledgement. And they will, Ren. Through you, and through all who come with hearts open to learn. The garden remembers, and it grows stronger with every choice made in respect and courage. Ren walked back along the glowing path, feeling the energy of the garden in every step. He looked back one last time, seeing the lights pulse gently, like a heartbeat, welcoming him always. The hidden glances that had tested him, taught him, and guided him were now part of his memory, part of his understanding. And in turn, he would carry that gift into the wider world, quietly, wisely, and with care. For Ren, the Garden of Hidden Glances was more than a place of mystery. It was a living teacher, a guide across time, and a legacy of hearts connected through courage, respect, and understanding. And as he left the forest, Ren knew that the garden's story was far from over. It would continue to shine, to guide, and to teach, in ways both gentle and profound.